Hello and welcome our beloved viewers to RTD's News English Edition. As usual, we'll begin tonight's news with the major and top highlights. Launching ceremony of the project to support the governments of the city of Djibouti, decentralization, and the municipality. And in the international scene in Brazil, heavy rains kill many in the state of São Paulo. Those were our major top highlights. Welcome back to our newsroom, our beloved viewers. The mayor office of the city of Djibouti has warmly welcomed in its office the ministers and officials. As part of the support to local governments in Djibouti City Hall hosted a ceremony in this sense. This important ceremony marks the start of the program of support to governments of the Djibouti state, financed by a grant of 8 million euros from the French Ministry of Europe and Foreign Affairs through the French Development Agency. As a reminder, the financing agreement relating to this project between the Republic of Djibouti, represented by the Minister of Economy and AFD, was signed on January 13, 2021. This event of great importance for the local community organized at the town hall saw the participation of the Ministry of Economy and Finance in charge of industry, from the Minister of Interior, the Minister of Budget, Minister Delegate in charge of decentralization, national parliamentarians, the Ambassador of the European Union, the Ambassador of France to the Republic of Djibouti, the Prefect of Djibouti, the Director of AFD, the Regional Coordinator for Eastern and Southern Africa, presidents of the communities, exteriors of the City Hall. In her speech, the mayor of Djibouti, Mrs. Fatuma Awali, spoke about the objective of these projects, which are for the communities of Djibouti City to exercise their mission in an operating environment conducive to affirming the principles of administrative and financial independence for the regional communities. The city enters into urban development through implementation of small investment projects in the management of municipal projects, and strengthening the mayoral credibility of the city of Djibouti and the three municipalities in order to reach tangible rapprochement between local administration and public administrations. The project is set to run for 4 years by taking a comprehensive and innovative global approach to improving local public services delivery through the reinvested local governments framework between the state, local authorities, and the citizens of Djibouti City. In turn, the Minister of Decentralization expressed the readiness of his ministerial department to provide the required support to the mayor of the city of Djibouti to enable it to carry out its tasks. In a speech by the Minister of Economy and Finance, Mr. Ilyas Musa Dawali expressed his happiness to participate in the occasion of implementing good governance at the level of governments and municipalities and said, that occasion is the fruit of important work within the framework of the project of good governance, and through this project, the community of the government of Djibouti, headed by His Excellency the President of the Republic, Mr. Ismail Omar Gille, to the success of the decentralization process in Djibouti. Finally, the ceremony reached in events ended with the signing of the service contract between the Djibouti City Council and Expertise France. This subsidiary of AFD was selected as the Adil project of the interior regions. As the operator of the project, the ceremony of signature of the service contract took place in the presence of the Minister of Interior, the Minister of Budget, Minister Delegate in charge of decentralization, and the Ambassador of France to the Republic of Djibouti. This ceremony was closed by a family photo. A strong delegation of the Ethiopian police is currently on a working mission in our country. It is in this context that the delegation of the Ethiopian police, led by the Director General of National Police, Colonel Abdullahi Abdi Farah, was received this morning by the Minister of Interior, Mr. Said Nur Hassan. The discussions between the Minister and the Ethiopian delegation focused mainly on strengthening cooperation between the two police institutions for our two respective countries. Cross-border security and knowledge sharing between our two police officers were in the menu of the exchange. Also, in the morning, the Ethiopian delegation was received by the Director General of the National Police, Colonel Abdullahi Abdi Farah, in the meeting room of his office. Several talks of common interest were discussed. This working mission of the Ethiopian police delegation is part of the establishment of a joint police officer force to further strengthen the security of our borders. This working visit of the Ethiopian delegations follows the recent trip of the Director General of the National Police in Ethiopia. Its main objective is to set up the basis for an effective and efficient cooperation in the field of security of our two countries. As part of the actions to fight against smuggling, the National Police, in collaboration with the Ethiopian Federal Border Police, intercepted yesterday morning near the border Galilee a large quantity of contraband goods. The goods seized on these occasions were 26 bags of qat, contraband that the smugglers wanted to bring to the city of Ali Sibeh. This mission is part of the strengthening of cooperation between the police institutions of the two countries, Djibouti and Ethiopia. According to the standard procedure in the first, this quantity was destroyed on the spot. Recall that smuggling is a scourge that harms the economy of our country. It is therefore incumbent of each citizen to lead on his side a first fight to stop the illegal trade. The prefect of the region of Ali Sibeh, Mr. Musa Adam Migani, highly congratulated the National Police for the success of this operation against smuggling. The Minister of National Education and Vocational Training, Mr. Mustafa Muhammad Mahmoud, and the CEO of the company TO7 OmiClouds, Amr Eid, proceeded to the signing of a partnership agreement this morning at the MENFAP office. The signing ceremony took place in the presence of senior MENFAP officials and officials of the Egyptian digital company TO7 OmiClouds. The minister said he was proud to engage in this fruitful partnership with the Egyptian digital company in that it will provide sustainable solutions to the global strategy of improving teaching and learning through the development of learning contexts adapted and contextualized and enriched with other interactive content. According to the minister, students will be able to work with the new digital tools in class, but also at home, which offers an immeasurable advantage to strengthen the quality of teaching and learning. Mr. Mustafa Muhammad Mahmoud emphasized the importance of digital transformation in this era of the fourth digital revolution, which involves not only the digital education tools but also strategic decision to adapt our teaching and learning. At the end of the official interventions, the two personalities proceeded to the signature of the documents of the partnership agreement.
The board of directors and the whole management, I would like to ask His Excellency President of the Republic of Djibouti. I would love to also thank His Excellency Minister of Education for this great partnership and great trust and opportunity. OmniClouds TO7 will transform the education in the Republic of Djibouti, and Djibouti will become the cornerstone of the digital transformation of education in the African continent. We are very proud to be here. We will demonstrate a state-of-the-art transformation for education to invest in Djibouti tomorrow, the Djibouti of the new generation. This is what OmniCloud is doing across the world, and we are honored and excited to have this opportunity. Thank you very much.
In a speech on this occasion, the Minister of National Education and Vocational Training, Mr. Mustafa Muhammad Mahmoud, expressed his happiness and pleasure for concluding this agreement with the Egyptian partnership. This agreement will provide sustainable solutions to the overall strategy to improve teaching and learning through the development of education through the creation of digital content. Madam Muna Usman Adam, Minister of Women and Family, took part in the meeting of the 41st session of the Women's Committee of the Arab League today, Monday, 31 January 2022. During this meeting, Madam Minister of Women and Family Muna Usman Aden delivered a speech in which she related to the achievements of her department in the framework of the dedication of the Capital Republic of the Arab Women for the year 2021 through the implementation of several activities in the field of women empowerment. This includes the launching of community development mutual cooperatives, awareness workshops in the fight against violence, and all these activities under the slogan guidelines of peace and human values. A projection of the achievements was made during this meeting. At the end of her speech, the minister handed over the presidency of the Arab Women Community to the brotherly country of the Republic of Sudan and wished success, peace, progress, and prosperity to the brotherly state of Sudan. This Monday, January 21st, the president of the club Arta Solar 7, Tommy Tayaro, organized a press conference at the Djibouti Place Kempinski. The audience was opened by the president of the club, Mr. Tommy, in the presence of the captain of the club, Alexander Song, and the assistant coach, Mr. Khadir Ahmed Roble. The president of the club introduced during this conference two new coaches to strengthen the ranks of the club, Mr. Terry Christian, an experienced and talented coach who coached US Algeria club in the Algerian First Division. His coaching career has taken him to a lot of places. And the talented technician, in his speech, the club president, Mr. Tommy, said, "We have the ambition to grow the club, Arta Solar. We are preparing for the CAF Champions League. This is a very important thing for us because we want to make Djibouti soccer dream by performing at the CAF level." Alex Song expressed his joy for the arrival of the new coach, wishing the club to succeed and make the best and prepare to go forward in this competition. For his part, the assistant coach of the team, Khadir Ahmed Roble, also wished success to the new coach.
La légende, essence ne sera jamais bastos, bastos, essence ne sera jamais bastos.
In his speech, the new head coach, Mr. Forger Terry Christian, expressed his joy for the warm welcome. In his speech, the new head coach, Mr. Forger Thierry Christian, expressed his joy for the warm welcome he received and emphasized his willingness to work and improve the club and said he was honored to coach this ambitious team. In his speech also, the president of the club, Arta Solar 7, Tommy Tayoro, congratulated the new coach while hoping to continue to train the team, improving the techniques of play of Arta Solar so that this young team becomes invisible in international soccer tournaments. This is one of the objectives that the president of the Djiboutian club has set. After obtaining the IOJ grant and signing the contract with the Olympic Committee, a first group of athletes left the country for the best athletics training centers in Ethiopia, Kenya, and Uganda. The Djiboutian athletes arrived at the Entebbe International Airport in Kampala, where they will stay for 3 months for training in order to prepare for the 2024 Olympics in Paris. Then they headed to the city of Kapetrwa, a city of the eastern region of Uganda. The Djiboutian athletes are composed of 7 boys and 2 girls, where they will follow interment under the order of the Dutch trainer Eddie Rutter, world-renowned running coach from the Netherlands, as well as with the Ugandan champions Joshua Kipuri, Ugandan athlete specialist in long-distance running, world champion of the 10 meters in 2019 in Doha, Olympic champion of the 5,000 meters, and Olympic vice of champion of the 10 meters in 2021 in Tokyo. Recalling that these athletes have benefited from all the assistance of the President of the Republic to better prepare for the different World Championship of Athletics as well as Olympic Games 2024. Within the framework of the daily statement issued by the Ministry of Health on the current epidemiological situation with COVID-19, the Secretary General of the Ministry of Health, Dr. Saleh Bonita Trab, announced the number of diagnosed cases and said that 366 cases were diagnosed today, Monday, January 31st. 13 new cases of the virus were recorded, while 23 people recovered today. 491 were vaccinated, while no new deaths were recorded. At the conclusion of the statement, Dr. Saleh Bonita urged citizens to receive vaccination and adhere to preventive measures against the epidemic. In the strategic framework for the socio-economic transformation of the continent adopted by the heads of state and government of the African Union in January 2015, the Economic Commission for Africa and the Ministry of Economy and Finance organized a workshop on policies and areas for the prioritization of the Sustainable Development Goals in Agenda 2063 in the National Development Plan of Djibouti. The 5-day workshop will include technical training sessions, presentations of results, and working sessions to familiarize sectoral development repositories with the Djibouti model. The Millennium Institute's Integrated Sustainable Development Goals Model Development is a dynamic simulation tool designed to support comprehensive and integrated long-term development planning. The model incorporates social, economic, and environmental factors into its analysis to assess policy options for achieving the SDGs. The workshop sessions will be facilitated by Moulier Bamba of the Millennium Institute. These sessions are immersive in nature in order to promote knowledge and understanding of the model. Analysis tool and scenario decision, the objective of the workshop, are to deepen and operationalize the theoretical competence of dynamics presented, train participants in the use of the ISTG model and user interface, build interventions and scenarios using the model, and master the combinations of policies in order to have positive synergies for the maximization of the SDGs and NDB goals. The Naval Training Center of the Djibouti Coast Guard hosted this Thursday, January 27, 2022, a closing ceremony of a training and course entrusted arrest techniques, which benefit the members of the Coast Guard Rapid Intervention Group and provided by instructors and experts of the Japanese Coast Guard. Colonel Wais Umar Baghori, commander of the Coast Guard, welcomed the JICA representative in Djibouti, as well as Admiral Kagame and other Japanese representatives who took part in the ceremony. In a short speech delivered on this occasion, the commander of the Coast Guard recalled the close ties of cooperation and collaboration between the institution and its Japanese partners, whether they are the JICA, JAMS, or the Japan Coast Guard. This training is another testimony of the efforts put in place to strengthen the development of the Djiboutian Coast Guard's operational capabilities. The ceremony ended with the presentation of certificates to the participants. On the occasion of the Great Regionalist Gathering, Ijtima', which took place on a space located at PK 23 from 28 to 30, the High Command of the Gendarmerie has put in place an important security device to ensure the smooth running of these religious and spiritual meetings, reinforcing the faith of preachers. Indeed, this religious event, held as usual in month of January each year, saw the participation of thousands of faithful, among which some came from foreign countries. In order to avoid any overflow or risk of road accidents, several units of the Gendarmerie, such as the Road Safety Squadron, the Mobile Gendarmerie, the GIGN, and the Rescue Service, worked closely during 3 days for the success of this common mission. The Gendarmeries worked hard to contain the worshippers of the national road to ensure the regulation of road traffic on the corridor and the good parking of vehicles, as well as the screening of the place of worship. A new bakery opens its doors in the White City. The inauguration of the ceremony was chaired by the prefect of the region, Mr. Hassan Dabale, the viceroy of Tajura, His Highness Ahmed Shehem, and saw the participation of the president of the AFT, Mrs. Hasna Hassantu. The initiative comes from a young entrepreneur, Dini Burhan Dini, the native of Tajura. This is part of the government's policy to promote youth entrepreneurship in order to mitigate unemployment. Tajura, the White City, is experiencing an exponential growth of economic activities. In recent years, since the opening of the port, and this bakery will further satisfy the growing demand of its inhabitants. For his part, the young entrepreneur Dini Burhan Dini was satisfied and thanked all the regional authorities for having honored them with their presence. He also invited young people to embark massively in entrepreneurship and to have creative ideas in order to absorb employment on this console part of the country. Shifting gears towards the international scene, landslides caused by heavy rains killed at least 18 people, including several children in the state of Sao Paulo between Friday and Saturday. The government announced that he had released a budget to help 10 most affected cities. At least 18 people died following the heavy rains that fell between Friday and Sunday on the state of Sao Paulo in southeastern Brazil, causing landslides on Sunday, January 30. Well, by this, our beloved viewers, we conclude this edition. Thank you for being with us, and make sure to tune in later for more. Have a wonderful evening and take care. Thank you.